All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Mega Evolutions that are brand new, none of the old ones. I'll probably rank those later because I've never used those in a Pokemon game. So at some point I'm going to rank those, but today we're going to be looking at the new ones. Starting off with the two we know the least about, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. Now on a very surface level, again, I don't know for sure their types. I don't know if there's any leaks or anything like that about these, but Mega Raichu X looks like a fighting type, electric fighting. Mega Raichu Y might be pure electric, could be something else. I prefer Raichu X over Raichu Y. I know it looks more like Pikachu, and that might be kind of unappealing to some, but for me, I think I prefer this. I think for now, I'm going to put that in A and that in B. It's not that it's bad. B is just pretty average for me, but it just doesn't do much for me, more than being Raichu. Like in some ways, I prefer regular Raichu's design over this. Whereas this looks like a little bit more unique, has a little bit more going on. And I guess we'll see what happens when the DLC releases. I've already pre-ordered it, so we'll see what happens when we get the DLC and we can see more of these two. Okay, so my first experience seeing in-game Mega Clefable was in the online link play battles. And this person must have had an alpha because this thing was huge, massive. And I think it's just kind of silly and fun. To me, it kind of looks like an acorn. I know it's supposed to be a beret, but she looks like an acorn to me. So I think I'm gonna put her in A. Immediate S tier. It's silly, it's dumb, but it's so much fun. And the trailer for it, having kind of the horror thriller aspect, where it comes just bursting out of the room, spitting poison everywhere, that was hilarious. When I caught the Alpha Bellsprout in Legends EA, I pretty much instantly evolved it up to Victory Bell. I leveled it up really fast and then gave it a Leaf Stone. And that thing is just massive, and it's slow moving around because it has to bounce everywhere, but it's so funny. It's one of those ones where it's a good thing they didn't take it too seriously. They could have done a mega Victory Bell that just was very serious and a kind of sinister, mean looking like Mega Evolution to Victory Bell. They could have done that, but I prefer the silly route they went. In the same vein, this might get me in hot water with some people, but Mega Starmie is just incredible. That thing is weird, and I don't know what else to say about it. It's just weird, but it's good. It's a good weird. There's some Pokemon that are weird that I don't like, but this is just weird in all the right ways. Starmie's always supposed to be an alien, basically. So the fact that it is even more alien, and its Pokedex description saying that they're not sure if it's trying to copy humans or replace them is just awesome. It's really good. Mega Dragonite. Now this is, I believe, the first one they revealed in the hype building up for Legends EA. And I'm okay with it. I do like how it has aspects of Dragonair. I feel like there's things that could have done better, perhaps. The other problem is that I haven't seen it in game. I do have a Dratini finally in Legends EA. I finally got to the point where I can catch one, but I haven't evolved it up yet. And I don't even think I have access to Dragonite's Evolution Stone, and I don't know what it's called. Dragonite? But maybe if I saw it in game, I'd like it more. But for now, because I haven't seen it, because I'm kind of so-so on the design, I think I'm going to put it in B. Probably ahead of Mega Raichu Y. I guess it's probably a good time for me to kind of explain what I'm looking for in a Mega Evolution. I think a lot of it comes down to, do I feel like this amplifies the Pokemon's original design or improves it in some way? Or does it kind of just sit at the same spot? I'm trying to think of a good example of that. A good example I think is maybe Mega Gyarados. It's cool in its own right, but there's something special about Gyarados being a flying type and just the way it looks originally. And Mega Gyarados is cool, but it kind of takes away from that a little bit. It looks a bit less serpentine, a bit less dragon-like. So when I'm looking, for example, at this one, Mega Meganium, I think this is probably S tier for me, just because it takes the original design of Meganium and it just cranks it up to 10, right? Giving it these beautiful flowers on its neck, giving it the fairy type, which it really plays into all the different Pokedex entries it's had about its kindness and helping other Pokemon, that kind of thing. It just looks great. And I've seen it in game, and I think it looks really awesome there too. So I believe that's S tier. Now for my starter, I chose Totodile in this game because it's my favorite of those three options. I really have always loved Feraligatr, and I feel like it deserves the dragon type. And so it getting the dragon type, I think, bumps it up for me personally. I know how some people feel about the head, and I agree. I wish it was down all the time, maybe with its mouth kind of open a little bit as he's walking around, and then it would only open up fully before he bites down again. I feel like that would be the better design choice instead of it just kind of hanging loosely above his neck. It is a little weird. When he does bite down, it's awesome, and he looks like a little Totodile, and that's really cool. And I'm gonna put it in A tier. I love Feraligatr. I love that it gets the dragon type. I love the idea behind it. The execution is kind of weird, but oh man, same thing about execution. I'm gonna put this here. I like Mega Skarmory could have been a lot more, but it just feels like they didn't do a ton with it. They turned Skarmory gold and gave it big feet. Feels like. I just don't know if this design really amplifies what it's got. I feel like I prefer regular Skarmory in a lot of ways with the red and the silver. I'm gonna put this in C tier for now, and we'll see if I change how I feel about it later. Okay, this is another one I haven't seen in game. I don't know if there's anybody in Legends ZA that uses this as their ace, but I really like how it kind of builds on the regular theme of Frostlass, where it's this kind of snowstorm demon. It really builds upon that. I think I'm gonna put this in A tier for now. I think I prefer it over Mega Clefable. Again, I haven't seen it in game, so I don't know how. If this was like really tall, I think that helps it a lot. If this is kind of short, then probably wouldn't be as great for me. Another one I haven't seen in game yet, Mega Emboar. I've always liked Emboar. He was my first starter in Pokemon Black version when I got that as a kid. And I think it's cool how he looks more like a sort of warlord with his staff and what he's got on his head. It is a bit better than regular Emboar. It kind of does a bit better with the head. People always joke about Emboar not having a neck. I think this kind of makes it look a bit more natural just because of what looks like clothes around his neck and chest. I think I'm gonna put it in A tier after Pikachu, Raichu. Sorry, Mega Raichu X. It's good. Maybe I like it more when I see it in game, when I see it moving. Maybe he does some things with a staff that could be cool, but we'll see. Mega Excadrill, I understand what they're going for, where they're just making its drills bigger so that when it uses certain moves, it drills forward and it looks like a big drill. I personally never liked that side of Excadrill's original design. And so I'm not a huge fan of this. And the other problem for me is that when I first caught the Alpha Excadrill in ZA, I gave it immediately the Excadrillite because I wanted to see this form in combat and see how often it would go into the drill mode. And I haven't tried it with every move, to be fair, but so far I've only seen it happen with Drill Run. And so now my Excadrill knows Earthquake, but he doesn't do the drill move at all. He knows Rock Slide, Earthquake, Dig, and I think Protect. And he doesn't turn into his drill form for any of those moves, which is kind of a letdown. At least with Feraligatr, it's a similar situation where it looks weird in its regular open form. When it's attacking, it looks better. At least with Feraligatr, when I'm using Liquidation or certain other moves, just physical attacking moves, it'll go into its biting form pretty frequently. But Escadrille so far, it's just been with Drill Run from what I've seen. So I'm going to put this in C tier. It's probably going to end up low in C tier, but we'll see how it goes. This one is absolutely a bias pick, but Mega Scolipede is S tier. That thing gets these massive glowing horns with poison. It's got this armor on that looks like a Whirlipede's armor. It gets huge. This thing's awesome. I mean, I have an alpha. I caught the mega, not mega. I caught the alpha Whirlipede at some point, and I loved the giant Scolipede that I had, and then I was able to mega evolve it eventually, and it's even better. It's just massive. Its defense stat goes through the roof. Its attack goes up as well. I just think this thing's awesome. And that's very biased to me because Scolipede's my favorite bug type Pokemon. Love that thing and have it on every playthrough team when I play through Gen 5. Scrafty. I just recently beat Naveen in Legends EA. And his Mega Scrafty. I don't really like it. It's kind of what I was saying before, where I don't really think it amplifies the design. The original design of the Pokemon, I understand what it's going for. He's got the hoodie. I just don't know if I like it. It's just kind of bland for me. It makes sense for Naveen being a clothing designer, wearing white as well. I am going to put it ahead of these two. I understand what they're going for with it, but I feel like it's kind of like a bit of a filler Mega Evolution, if I'm being honest. That's how I feel about it. Mega Electros. This one's a weird one. I don't know if I like this one's weirdness. The fact that these are like mucus, fake Electros, what its Pokedex entry says, is kind of odd to me. It still stays just a pure electric type, which is fine, I guess. It's okay. I think it's okay. I'm gonna put it here in B tier because it's just okay. It's middle of the road. It's not bad. It's not great. I'm gonna say it's in B tier for me. Now Mega Chandelure. I've always loved Chandelure. I've used it a ton in a lot of different games. It was on my team in Kitakami and the Teal Mask for Scarlet and Violet. I know that there's not much they could have done with Mega Chandelure other than giving it more candles, more arms. I think that's what you call those on a Chandelure. I don't know if there's much more they could have done. But I like it. Maybe seeing the shiny would be good. I'm sure the shiny looks good, but I'm going to put it in B tier as well. I feel like it's just okay. I think it's just okay. Like, again, there's not much more they could have done to make Mega Chandelure different from regular Chandelure. But I think it's just kind of middle of the road, you know? Mega Chestnut. I haven't seen this one in game yet. I thought I heard someone saying that it takes a spike off of its shell and maybe attacks with it or something. So if so, that's pretty cool. I just haven't seen it in game to confirm that and haven't seen it in motion. I've always been kind of so-so on Chestnut, kind of the bearded look. But I think this looks really cool, how much armor he's got. He's got this big shell on his back. He's probably a decent bit bigger than regular Chestnut as well. I'm going to put this in A tier, probably here, I would say. I think maybe once I see it in game, it could go up to A tier or possibly S tier based on what it looks like. I haven't seen Mega Delphox either. I guess these aren't in the game yet. That's why I haven't seen them. But just purely based on what we see from this for Mega Delphox, this is S tier. I hate regular Delphox. I think the first two evolutions are fine. I think Braixen's a little odd that it goes on 2 feet. I think a lot of us would prefer quadrupedal Pokemon to stay quadrupedal, like Meganium. So I've always hated Delphox, the hair coming out of its ears. But the hair in the ears is way better in this than with regular Delphox. It's got the flying broomsticks next to it. I think it's really cool. I almost wonder if this were a different game, if it would have a signature move involving those broomsticks, some fire type move. I think that'd be pretty cool. Or psychic, I guess. Could be either one. But that looks way cool. The dark dress is awesome. Can't wait to get that whenever they let us have it. Mega Greninja is okay for me. I know it's hard for them because they already had Ash Greninja and they had to make it different enough to make people want it. I think I'm going to put it in A tier. Probably here. The fact that it's upside down is okay. Like, it moves around on its water shuriken pretty quickly and all that. It's very ninja-like in this form, which is cool. It's just not something that I think about like, oh, I have to have this. Like, this is so cool. I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be my first D tier of the list. Mega Pyroar just getting a bigger main is kind of lame for me. And I also don't... I know it's hard because they're so different, but I almost wish that Mega Pyroar, male and female, had different Mega forms. Because this just looks like a male Pyroar. When you're looking at regular Pyroar, you know immediately which one's female and which one's male. And to my understanding, these don't have a gender difference. And of course, like, looks aren't everything, like being able to tell the difference between the two. But just some other difference between the two. Give the female one the same single mane, but make it longer or something. I don't know. This just looks like a male Pyroar. And I feel like they could have done something more with that. So not a fan of that. This is one where I feel like I really need to see this in game. I know this is a spoiler along with this one. I'm going to put them together. You know, I don't know if I'm going to rank these. I'll put them in A tier for now. I just feel like I need to see them in game, in motion. I think they both get huge in game, if I remember correctly from what I heard. I feel like I need to see them in game to actually get a good evaluation of how I feel about them. I like that Mega Zygarde's holding a nuke. That's pretty cool. I don't understand totally what Mega Floette is or like why it Mega evolves, but I guess we'll see when we get there. Mega Malamar. I loved the trailer they did for this guy. My friend Malamar with him mind controlling people. I love what it does with the tentacles kind of swirling around and hypnotizing people. I think I'm going to put this in S tier. I don't know if I like it as much as Mega Meganium, Mega Starmie. I think I'll put it right there. I think I'll put it there. That feels like a good spot to me. I feel like the ones above it do what they're going for a bit better, but Mega Malamar is still like an S tier. The way they took regular Malamar and just amplified what it does, they could have made it really silly. And I think in this case, it worked to their benefit to make it serious. But I like that. The Aura Farming God. That's what I've seen people call this guy. Regular Barbaracle is another Pokemon that I just hate. I think it's ugly. I think it's weird in a bad way. The colors have never really been good for me. I like this though. Probably not as much as these. I think I'm gonna put it here. I have only seen it with the one time in the game that you fight the Rogue Mega Barbaracle, and that boss fight was pretty cool. But I think I'm gonna put it right there. Mega Dragalge. I haven't seen this one in game. From what I can tell, it looks a little creepy. I'm gonna look up the next. Okay, not gonna lie, that's kind of cool with the fake eyes above it. This Pokédex Center says it spits a liquid that causes the regenerative power of cells to run wild. The liquid is deadly poison to everything other than itself. So the Mega Stone makes its poison go crazy, and it's deadly to everything but itself. That's kind of cool. And I think it is, in my opinion, better than some of these fan arts we see out there. I'm going to put this in probably B tier. I think I prefer it over Mega Chandelure, but not as much as Dragonite. Mega Hawlucha. This one also had a really great trailer. I guess all of the trailers were really awesome. They put a lot of work into those, making them each feel unique and kind of a different look into the world of Pokemon Legends EA with different people and characters. And this one was just very, very fun. Seeing Mega Hawlucha, you know, taking on bigger opponents like Machamp. That was really fun. I think I'm going to put this in S tier. It's a hard choice between all of these. I prefer it over Mega Malamar. Yeah. This guy's fun. It doesn't do anything crazy. It's not doing anything outlandish. There's some designs where it makes a major change, like Clefable, for example, or Delphox even. Victreebel is a really great example of that. But it just takes Hawlucha and just takes it to the next level, makes it look more like a Luchador, makes him bigger, more muscular. So I'd love to be able to find, I don't think I have a Hawlucha actually. I need to go track one down. If I can find an alpha Hawlucha to turn Mega, even better. Mega Grandpa. It's a little tough. I never been a big fan of regular Grandpa, but I think the design looks really cool. I think it says it channels electrical currents. I think it's cool that the Pokedex entry says that the Mega Stone's power reinvigorated its cells and turned it back to its youth, which is kind of cool. So we get to see what Grandpa used to look like. I'm gonna put this high B tier, I think. I think I'd put that top of B tier. I like it more than Mega Dragonite, just because it looks cooler. I think looks better. It's still got a lot of kind of complex things going on that I'm not sure about, but I think it looks pretty cool. And last but not least, we have this guy, Mega Fairlinks. And last but not least, we have this guy, Mega Phalanx. I like it. I get what it's doing. It's kind of so-so for me, to be honest. I love Phalanx. I caught a full odds shiny Phalanx in Pokemon Scarlet, which I loved. This guy though, I don't know. You know, I'm gonna put him in B tier. I think it does a good job of like just taking the idea of Phalanx and amplifying it, where it says that the Phalanx get along really well, or they're in perfect harmony or something like that. So I like that side of it. But it's also just, again, it's one that I'm not really itching to go catch right away, you know? All right. Let's see if there's anything else I'd change. I think I'm going to put Mega Meganium up there. I think Clefable becomes Fairy Flying, if I'm not mistaken. Which is actually pretty cool. Drop this into S tier. It's just the perfect next step for Clefable. And she looks like an acorn. That's pretty cool. I'm going to drop guy. It's just a little weird in the wrong way for me. I know it's a weird creature that it's based on. I know that Electros by itself is weird. But the mucus arms, they just don't really do it for me. I think that's going to do it. I feel good about this list. Now, maybe my opinions on a lot of these might change once I see them in battle. There's probably, let's see, there's 13 of these that I haven't seen in battle. So maybe once I do, I'll change my opinion on them. But I feel like this is a good list for now. Mega Scolopede's just gotta be my favorite. He looks so cool. He's huge, especially when it's an alpha Scolipede. The poison on the horns, it's just peak. It's awesome. Well, that'll do it for this tier list. Thank you for sticking with me all the way through to the end. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Mega Evolution from Pokemon Legends ZA is, which ones you're excited for or you hope for in the DLC. Thanks for watching and see you next time.